In this module, we'll explore selectors. At the end of the module, we'll spend a few minutes redesigning our current site in preparation for your first project, applying all of the skills and techniques learned so far, including selectors. Selectors are used to select the elements that we want to style. We've already used a few of them so far, including calling the element itself, the hashtag for IDs, and the dot for classes. Let's look at a few more examples. Let's suppose that we want to select any H1 that's a descendant of the Article 1 class. A descendant is an element that is nested inside of another element, no matter how many levels down it is. First, we'll write the class name, then put a space, and then write H1. We'll make the H1s orange for visibility. Now, any H1 that's a descendant of Article 1 will be orange. Notice how the H1 descendant of Article 2 is not changed. We can use a comma to choose more than one element, so let's make our LIs orange as well. A more complex selector is the angle bracket. Let's suppose that we have another div inside of the Article 1 class. We'll save and run our page, and we'll notice that the H1 in the new div is still orange. Now let's replace the space with an angle bracket, open to the class name. Now we'll notice that the H1 is no longer orange. That's because the angle bracket only selects a direct child of Article 1. The H1 is now a direct child of the new div. Now let's reset our code and select all H1s and H2s to be orange. We did this to better understand the asterisk selector. This selector chooses all elements. Let's say that we want all elements to have the color orange. Remember, the color property name is only for text-based elements. When we run our code, our LIs, which should be affected by color, are not changed. This is because a more specific selector takes precedence over a more general one. Here, we expressly set the LIs to white. We can give a property value precedence by attaching the important rule immediately after the property value and before the semicolon. Now, orange takes precedence. CSS has a lot more selectors, but we've covered the most common. Now let's get started redesigning our site. We won't talk and we'll go pretty fast, so feel free to pause along the way if you'd like to follow along.